you through the entire course. I hope my screen is available to you guys.
Yep.
Okay. So let's move with the introduction part of So we have a React and Redux training, which will be around about 30 plus hours. And the session that we are going to talk about, the session is basically divided into 3 parts. So we'll be talking about ES6 and JavaScript advanced features. So the first part of the application or the training would be getting a hands-on the object-oriented side of JavaScript. I don't know how much you people have exposure to object-oriented JavaScript, so I'll get to that while I ask for your introductions. So first of all, the first part would be getting hands up with the object-oriented JavaScript. And along with that, we'll be studying about the new ES6 features. Why we are doing all these ES6 features and object-oriented JavaScript is because React is very native to the JavaScript that we have. So you need to have a good JavaScript understanding in order to have a good hands-on on React fundamentals and the React course that we are designing. Okay. The second part of this session would be getting done with the React fundamentals, how React works, and what is the basic underlying technology. Wherein we have things up and running, we have React application up and running. So we'll talk about all the fundamental, how to render the data, how to render UIs over there using React. And the third part of the training would have Redux. So we'll have something which is like Redux getting integrated into React.js. And we'll be just creating few applications on the same. So these are the 3 basic grouping wherein I have divided this course. If I talk about the JavaScript part, we will be taking JavaScript sessions on and off. So as required, I'll move to ES6 features. I'll explain you those ES6 features, and then we'll move to the React fundamentals. So as in when we'll be requiring concept of classes, when we'll be requiring concept of object orientation. So I'll just quickly move to all those ES6 concepts and we'll get back to React fundamental back. In that way, it won't be a long, boring JavaScript session. It would be a JavaScript session divided within the entire thing. Okay. So the course highlighting, the highlights of the course would be, we'll be having some live coding sessions. So I will be presenting you some static data and static code. For every code that we'll be writing, we'll be doing something hands-on. And I would really appreciate if you guys are really verbose about what we are doing. Invest a lot of efforts, and your input should be there while we are doing those live coding sessions, so that we can explore what are the possibilities and what are the different aspects and domain of this particular technology. So we can try a few questions, we can try a lot of practical stuff. Apart from this, whatever we'll be doing, we'll be committing everything to the GitHub repository. So I have a GitHub repository of mine. And every day after the end of the session, I'll be just pushing in all the code into GitHub repository. That way, it would be easy for you guys to take up the code and play with the code on your end. So I would advise after the course, just go around with the code that we wrote and just do some tweaks and come back with a lot of questions. More the questions that we have, more would be the learning that would come out of this session. In order to have a JavaScript concepts up and running, to have a good amount of JavaScript concepts, in order to have the entire framework understanding, we'll have a daily session. So I'll plan up a session on JavaScript. So let's say one topic on JavaScript, which is required inside the React training. So every day I'll be just figuring out what would be the topic for today, and we'll be having more of discussions. So let's say today's topic is JavaScript as like single threaded. So I'll just advise you people go explore something. Next year when I'll come back, when we'll start the session, the initial part of the session would be more on the JavaScript, and then we'll be using that JavaScript concepts inside the React application. Okay. And once we have the basic React understanding, so the course, the second part and the third part, which is like React and Redux. So on every understanding, so once we are done with React understanding, we'll create a small application wherein, let's say, employee management system, wherein we'll show the list of employees. We'll just look for a detail of a particular employee. So that would be the first sort of application that we'll be creating. And then when we'll move to Redux, we'll create the entire application from scratch and have it up and running on Redux rather than just the React Native or just the React code, basic React. So in this way, after the course is completed, we have two applications, and you can come up with any of your suggestion. What do you want to create? And while we code, after let's say we can have 1 hour of some development, we can have live coding and live project that we can work on. So any questions on the flow of the course that I have designed? So any suggestions you have? So anything that you want to just add on to it? And I would just want you people to be very contributing a lot to the course, because at the end you will be learning a lot if you're contributing. So any questions? Your voice is sort of blurred. If you can just speak quite louder.
It's fine right now, so we can proceed with the process.
Okay, so before I proceed further, I would like to have you guys introduction, and I would like to know what expertise do you hold when we talk about JavaScript, the native JavaScript, object-oriented concepts, and do you have understanding of React, and like your introduction, what background do you belong, how long have you been into the development scenario, something about yourself which can help me redesign the course, and something which I can look for while I'm just delivering your sessions.
Firstly, I'll introduce myself. I'm Danya. So basically, I have a good hold on Java, and right now I'm working with JavaScript also, and jQuery also, CSS and all, HTML.
Okay.
So it's been near about 1.6 years. I'm working as a developer. That's all. Anything else you want to know?
So how would you rate yourself in object-oriented technology, and how do you rate yourself when you go to module the patterns in JavaScript, singletons, ifs, and the basic concepts?
Basic concepts. In the basic concept of JavaScript particularly, I will rate myself as 6. Okay, and I'm very much like I have good hands-on on this OOPS concept. So yeah, I'm average for the JavaScript basis.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And Sandeep?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Sandeep. I have around 5+ years of experience in UI development. Most of the time I'm working with front-end technologies, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and jQuery most of the time. And so I have also basic knowledge of Angular version 1. And I rate myself in JavaScript as I'm average, not I'm an expert, but I have a good knowledge of OOPS concept and JavaScript. JavaScript and jQuery, because I'm mostly working with the websites, and I'm just consuming libraries over there.
So when we talk about the core concepts, like, okay, what is a module pattern and how prototype works, what is this keyword, context, scope?
Yeah. This is all these things are cleared with me. I have familiar with all these things.
Okay. So the initial part of the application of this training is like more into getting into the depth of how JavaScript works, because more you understand the working of JavaScript, more you get into React. So React is very native to JavaScript, and that will help you understand more. So in case we are comfortable with those concepts, we'll just have a small revision. I'll put in some questions. You guys can answer those questions. You can just go through the slides, and we can proceed further.
Okay.
That way, that would be ensured that okay, you have a good understanding of all the object-oriented stuff, so that we can proceed further. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So try making this course interactive. Do share whatever you have with yourself, so that the class could understand the stuff. Don't be hesitant in asking more questions.